What made you pick Justin Kirkland in the shootout?
I guess if you look at the American League stuff, like, he scores all the time. So I was kind of kicking myself for not going to him earlier, to be quite honest with you. So guys that have played with him in the American League know he's pretty much automatic. So it was nice to see him score there tonight.
That story just keeps getting better.
Doesn't it?
You must love watching it. I mean, you see the bench respond accordingly.
Yeah, for sure, because he's a good person that has worked a long time to try to get himself here, and now he's having some success. So it's a really nice story for us to be a part of.
A long time ago. Is this the guy that you had back then too?
No. I mentioned it before. The guy back then was more about all skill and not a lot of will. Now he's flipped it, where he still has a great skill set, but I would say he's more of a harder player than a skilled player now. So I mentioned before, when he was in Milwaukee, I think Dean Evison was the coach. They moved him to center ice, and they worked with him on becoming a harder player, and he has done that, and he's kind of stayed with that.
You said when you called his name, you actually had to double check to make sure. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I just quickly kind of yelled it, so good on him.
Can you just talk about how Dustin Wolf handled facing some of his childhood idols?
I thought he was, whether they're idols or not, I thought he did a good job tonight. There was stretches of the game where I thought we were on our heels and a little bit flat-footed, and he made some saves for us to keep us in the game, to allow us to kind of hang around and find a way to win it. And he's done that since he's been up with us this year. Vladdy's done the same thing. So when you look at our record, you have to look at our goaltenders as being a big reason as to why we're sitting where we are.
And when it comes to Nazem, like, obviously the overtime in Seattle, and then he gets the tying goal, like just sort of a little bit of a redemption story and how critical he is to this club.
Well, we needed the goal. Like, it was a funny game for me tonight. There was only a handful of forwards that I thought were really good tonight. But, you know, you have to look to your key people at certain times, and he's a key person on our team. So when you need a goal to be scored, you need those guys to step up. So I'm glad that he was able to do that tonight.
Did it feel like a game where momentum sort of came in waves and it sort of went each way? Were you okay with how you guys handled the moments where it did seem like they took over?
No, those stretches, I felt like we stopped moving our feet and we started trying to make plays standing still. And when you're doing that, it's typically the result's going to be a turnover, and then you're chasing and standing around and watching. And I thought there were stretches where we were like that. There were stretches like the first 7 minutes or so where I thought we were really skating well and controlling a lot of the play. But the big thing for us, and you try to tell the group that, and we will again tomorrow, is you're going to be in hard games all the way through here. And if we can find a way to stay with it and find different ways to win like we did tonight, then that's a really, really big thing. So good on our players for staying with it.
Ask about Martin Pospisil in that second period. Is that a coach trying to get a message through to a young player about his play?
It's not his play. His play has been fine, but you take two offensive zone penalties, it doesn't work. So if you're going to take a physical penalty, that's a different story. But when there are hooks or holds, it's not a good thing.
So then back in the third period, he's back in the line on the ice in overtime.
Yeah.
Just your thought process and how you handled that, and what was the right amount of time for that?
Well, at the time I was going to sit him for the period because we need him. I mean, he's a guy that brings more speed than anybody to our lineup. So hopefully he understands that, hey, if you're going to take physical penalties, that's different because that's what he's all about. But the ones that you can control, that are lazier penalties, that we can't accept them as a team. And he happened to be the guy that had to, you call it whatever you want, be the sacrificial lamb tonight, I guess, if you be maybe a way to put it.
What does a win like this do for your club?
Same, we're finding ways, and when you look at us from prior stretches last year, we weren't finding ways to win these games. So I think it helps build your team up a little bit, and I think they start to realize that there's still a lot of things that we have to get better at, and we have to be more consistent with our play, but we're finding ways to win. So it builds a little bit of belief.
Why do you think your club is so resilient this season?
I don't know. The 6 older players probably would be my guess on that, the ones that we have in our leadership group. You look at tonight, Bax and Coles were probably 2 of our best players on the ice, and Connor Zary, you could throw him in that mix, but you need your older guys to step up and play the right way, and I think those 6 guys have pushed our message really well in our room.